one of the big skills that we all need to start breaking 100 or 90, right, is that we need to be able to hit a wedge shot, like a half swing or about a 40, 50, 60 metre yard wedge shot that's going to go in the air, land on the ground and stop, so that we can get over those bunkers that those pesky course architects really like, bastards. They do that for a reason. They know most people struggle with that shot, so they're going to make you nervy. They put a bunker in the way, you're going to carry water or a lot of rough or something. So we need that shot that we know is going to carry that bunker, but also stop on that green. It's probably one of the hardest shots for most amateurs I play with, because they're just so indecisive about how big a swing do I make, and a lot of the time they do a big swing and then they try and just slow down on it, and that causes all sorts of problems with getting your low point in the right spot, making good contact, and then also judging club head speed to get it to go the right distance. It's just really hard. So I'm going to give you a little technique here that will help you in a big way, and what we're looking for is just a reference point for the right? This is like level 1, learning how to hit a wedge shot like that and get it step on the ground. So you're going to grab your sand wedge. The reason we go with that, plenty of loft, 56 degrees most of the time, tons of bounce on it, which is going to help you to just get the club not digging in the ground quite as much, and probably just skimming a little more, give you a bigger margin for error under contract. We're using that, and what we're going to start off with is we're going to try and work out what is a half swing for you, right? Not anyone else, but for you. So what we do is we're going to stand there and do a bunch of what feels like big full 100% size swings, right? So a big full turn to me is like that. You can see the club's not all the way up here. I've got lack of thoracic mobility and all sorts of stuff. That's a big turn for me. That's all I really need. And then I come all the way through to my full follow through like this, right? So that's my 100%, my big wedge swing. I'm going to hit quite a few of them to begin with. And this is something you can do, you should do in warm-ups before you go and play. And every time you practice, you should do this. So to begin with, I'm going to hit a few normal full shots. Now, I might hit 10 shots like that just to get warmed up, get used to that size swing. All right, so just imagine I've hit a whole bunch of them, but I'll hit a couple. Okay, and I'm watching how far that goes. So for me, with a sand wedge, it's close enough to 95, 100 metres. It might be 70, it might be 50 for you, it doesn't matter what it is. Just know how far a full swing goes. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand here and go, okay, I want to know if that's 100% all the way back, what feels like half of that? And what you'll notice there is what I've done, what I've focused on is not so much what the club's doing, how much have I turned? So that's my big foot turn. It's going to lift my heel a little bit. Hips are moving, shoulders are moving. That's full. What feels like half of that? Probably there to me. So then I'm just going to go, that feels like about half. Now I just happen to know that it feels like when my arm is like at level with the ground, or 9 o'clock in the clock face or something like that. That feels like a half swing to me. So I'm just going to do a few swings where I turn back to there, and I'm going to turn my body all the way through. Now you'll notice that with the full swing, club and everything, my shoulders go all the way around here. With this half swing, it's nowhere near as big and hard. So, but I still want to make sure I turn my hips and right up on my toe, facing the target, and at no point am I trying to lift this thing up in the air, right? So that's just going to mess with your contact. So we're trying to imagine that nail in the back of the ball again that we're trying to smack the club face into. Halfway back and through. And then once I've done a few swings like that, I'm going to set up halfway back through and just watch how far that goes. How far did that just land?
60 metres.
About that, right? Now I know that a half swing with a 56 degree sand wind will go 60 metres for me. You can imagine how much I've done that in my time.
Yeah.
I mean, probably a couple of million times with a half swing, won't you?
40.
So I'm going to do it again. And half back and through. Let's see how far that one going. It's going to be a little longer maybe. And it felt a bit longer, right? I felt like it was just a bit bigger than the last one. So what am I doing? I'm calibrating. I'm not trying to hit at a certain distance. That's the big key here. I'm not trying to hit at 60 metres. I'm going to stand there and do what feels like a half swing. I'm paying attention to what I'm in control of, the club of my body. I'm going to feel a half swing, and I'm going to watch. So I've just hit 3 shots. You'd probably say the average is around 60, isn't it? Maybe a little longer, a little shorter. But when you think about that on the golf course, would every one of those stop on the green? They would have landed, 1 bounce, 2 bounces, maybe grabbed and stopped, because I made pretty good contact on it. So the other key things are you've got to make sure of your ball position, your weight forwards, the same things you'd be doing when you're hitting a little chip shot. Weight forwards, trying to make sure that in fact you're in front of the ball, you're trying to hit that nail into the back of the ball with the club face, not trying to lift it, and then I'm making sure that I follow through to this position like this. You do that, you watch what happens to the ball. You might go 30, you might go 60, you might go 80. It does not matter. Everyone's individual. How big your swing feels is individual as well. Next year is we want you to know how big is that swing, how far does it go into the same club every time. And then on the back of that, what do you reckon we can do? Let's say I want to hit one 70. What's the next club along? Let's try the pitching. Well, you know what? Pitching wedge is probably going to go a bit longer than 70 from an edge gap wedge. Right. Because this pitching wedge is probably got about 46 degrees loft, and that sand wedge is 56. My bag, I have one in the middle of those two, which means about another 10 meters. But let's see. What I'm going to do is make the same size swing. What's happened to that? Just like that go. That went about 80, didn't it? But did it go higher or lower?
Lower.
Lower. And then I might even go a 9 iron. Next one up. And do the same thing again. Even lower again. And about nearly 100 there, 90 or 100. And that would be hitting and running on a bit. That might be a really handy shot that if I was hitting into a really strong wind and I didn't want it to go up and get blown around, I might hit that one. But it's probably not one that's going to land on a normal green and stop. Probably run over the back. So that's the main thing we're going to do first and foremost. I want you to absolutely own that shot. Half swing, sand wedge, on average, how far does it get?